I'm gonna give you a quick formula and then I'm gonna break it down because I have created, it's not very complex, but I created this wealth formula, which breaks it down into a very simple, almost mathematical thing where it's, you take your income, you subtract your expenses, and that equals your investments plus your savings. So if you want to become wealthy, it ultimately comes down to having more investments. Your savings are not there to make you wealthy, they're there to protect you against an emergency. Your investments are what make you wealthy. So if you want to become wealthy sooner, or if you want to become a wealthier,
you need more investments.
You need more investments. How do you do that? Well, if it's your income minus your expenses, it's basic math. Either increase your income, decrease your expenses, or do both.
Right.
So that's the ultimate formula. So now if we talk about, let's break it down step by step on how do you actually do it. 6 steps. And this is no matter what age you are, these are the 6 steps that you want to follow.
Before you get into the 6 steps, what is the mindset that someone needs to think about?
Step number 1 is build the mindset.
Oh, my man.
So step number 1 is you need to have the right mindset. And so this is why I call myself the minority mindset and the brand minority mindset, because it's all about thinking differently than the majority of people. Because if you follow what the majority of people do in 80 to 90% of situations, you're probably doing something wrong. The second thing now, once you build the right mindset, is you want to create your financial base. And the best way to understand this is just to think, if you wanted to build a house, what do you do first? Well, you got to build the foundation. If you want to build a bigger house, if you want to build a bigger house, you want to dig a deeper foundation. You want to build a tall building, you need an even deeper foundation. So you have to start by building your financial base. And what that means financially is, first, you want to save $2,000 at the very least. You want to put aside some cash for savings as fast as possible. Because right now, 40% of Americans don't have $1,000 to put aside, and something close to 70% of Americans don't even have $400 put aside to protect them against an emergency. So most Americans don't have $1,000 put aside.
Get a $2,000 base.
Start with $2,000 as fast as possible. And then you need to cut the financial bleeding. That means your high interest debts, your credit card debts, your hard money loans, your 0% APR loans, which are now charging you 20 to 25%. These need to be paid off as fast as possible, because these are loans that are skinning you alive financially. So if you are 21 years old right now and you invested $6,200, which is the average household credit card debt right now, if you invest $6,200 right now and you got a 20% return on your money, and you did that for the next 45, 46 years, you are going to retire with $20 million. And you never invest another penny again.
Say it one more time. Wow.
Now you're going to say, Jaspreet, where in the world am I going to get a 20% return on my money year after year? You're right. But your credit card company is doing it every single day.
Wow.
They're charging you. And so when you have that sort of credit card debt, that's you making your credit card company richer. Now, understand the financial education aspect. So that's the first thing you want to do, is create your financial base. So you got to save some cash, and you got to pay that credit card debt off.
Cut the financial bleeding.
Cut the financial bleeding.
Track your assets and liabilities in one place with our customizable net worth tracker. Check the link below and download it for free.
Now, the next thing you want to do is what I call lead your money. So this is where you want to create a financial system and start investing your money, because your savings will never make you wealthy. You cannot save your way to wealth. You have to invest your money. Your savings won't make you wealthy because of what we've talked about in previous interviews, inflation.
You're losing money in the savings.
If inflation is higher than the interest rate you're getting at the bank, then your savings are effectively making you poorer each and every day, because now your savings are losing value to inflation. Now, does this mean you should not save any money? No. It means you need to save your money strategically. So you want to save your money for 3 reasons, and 3 reasons only. Save your money for an emergency. Save your money for a big purchase. If you want to buy a car, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a nice watch, whatever you want to buy, you need cash in order to do that. And then 3, save your money for an investment. If you're not saving your money for one of these 3 reasons, you're saving your money the wrong way, and it is making you poorer by saving that money. So now we focus on the first aspect of saving your money for an emergency. How much do you save? This is now, again, going to depend on your risk tolerance. You want to save somewhere between 3 to 12 months worth of your expenses. And the amount of money you save is going to depend on where you are in life and how much risk you're willing to take on. If you're like, hey dude, I'm 25 years old, I don't have any financial responsibilities, I don't need that much savings, fine. Save a few months worth of savings and That's it. Invest more aggressively. If you're like, hey, I have a family, I have kids, I have a spouse, I don't want to take on all this risk, then save 6 months, 9 months, a year's worth of savings, because now it will give you that peace of mind that you have some extra cash put aside. So it's going to depend on your risk tolerance and what you want. But in this lead your money step, this is where you want to understand that there's more to putting your money aside than just saving your money. You also want to be putting your money to work. And the best way to do this is to create a system where no matter how much money you're making, you are going to proportionately continually invest and save based on your income. So what does that mean? Well, one of the simplest things you can do is follow something like
percentage.
My 75, 15, 10 plan, which means for every dollar that you earn, 75 cents is the maximum that you can spend, 15 cents is the minimum that you invest, and 10 cents is the minimum that you save. And this never changes with your income. The only thing that you would ever change is after you hit that savings goal for your emergency savings, you don't keep saving your money for the emergency because you built that whatever months you want, you put that towards your investments.
Yes.
And now, whether you're making 40 grand, 400 grand, 4 million, 40 million, you just keep following the same thing and you're living below your means, and now you're constantly putting money aside for your investments. So this is where now you're putting your money to work, leading your money, because real wealth is built through your investments, not through your savings, because you don't want to be spending all your money either, because if you're spending all your money on the Gucci, the Louis Vuitton, the Beamers, and the extra guac, well, guess what? Gucci's making money, Louis Vuitton's making money, Chipotle's making money, BMW's making money, but you're the one that's making all of them rich. And so if you say, I want to become wealthy, but you have no savings, and yet you have all this nice stuff, you look rich, but the stuff that's looking rich is making you broke.
Making you broke, yeah.
So, you're paying the price to look rich, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you just have to understand what your goals are. If you say, hey, I don't really care about building wealth, I just want to have nice stuff, it's a free country. It's your choice. But if you say, I want to have wealth, you have no investments, and you're spending money on all this stuff, this is where you want to rethink what you're doing and understand what it is that you want, and make sure that your actions are aligning with your goals and your lifestyle is aligning with what you want to do. I mean, you can't keep lying to yourself. Own the company, own the places where you're spending your money. And, again, there's nothing wrong with having nice stuff.
Right.
What I'm trying to say, just be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Don't go into your credit card with it. If you want a nice watch, you want a nice house, you want a nice car, fine. Just make sure you can afford it first. And this brings me now to the next step, which I call interest-free living. And now this is where we're going to go a little bit deeper of how do you actually spend your money? Because in the American culture, it is very normal to be in debt. It's very normal to buy things that you can't afford. And before it was with credit cards, now it's with this new thing called buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later over the last couple of years is arguably the fastest growing sector in fintech. Now, the pitch to consumers, to people is, well, you don't have to pay any interest. But the whole idea that they say is you don't got to pay any interest, just pay it off for, say, 12 months or 6 months, which doesn't seem like a bad idea. Why would I want to pay $1,000 for a laptop today if I could just pay it off in installments and not pay any interest for the next 12 months?
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, why is it such a fast-growing industry? I mean, no one's going to invest billions of dollars into something if they're not going to see any sort of financial return. I mean, the most expensive kind of money is free money. So if they're giving you money for free, how are they going to make money from it? Well, that's where we dig a little bit deeper. So that's the first part. If you don't pay it off, now you get slapped with a very, very hefty fine, a very, very hefty fee, where now you're paying a massive interest rate, essentially like a credit card.
They're just acting like a credit card.
It's the same concept where you get a little bit of a grace period. But the second aspect is, if you want to buy a laptop for $1,000 and you need $1,000 to buy it, well, you got to have $1,000. But if you don't have to pay for it now,
you pay $100 a month. Yeah.
You still have the $1,000 in your bank account, maybe $900. And now what happens?
I can go buy more stuff for $100 a month.
And you keep
that's $1,000.
More and more and more. So it allows people to spend even more to lock in all the stuff. So you have a whole bunch of stuff, and now all your money is going out to pay for the stuff that you bought yesterday.
A year ago now.
A year ago. And then if you can't pay it off in time, because that's ultimately, their goal. If If you can't pay it off in time, now you get slapped with all that interest, all these fees, and now you're the one that's got to pay it off. And then this brings me now to the next part, which is what I call multiplier income. We talked about how to save your money. We talked about how to invest your money. We talked about how to manage your expenses. But now let's talk about the income. Because if now you understand how to live below your means, you understand how to put your money to work. If you want to put fuel on the fire, you just got to earn more money. Now, if you earn $100,000, you earn $1 million, you earn whatever, you earn more money. Now you know how to put this money through your system, through your funnel, whether 75, 15, 10, or whatever else. You know how to take this extra money, put it to work. That way you have more money to invest, more money to save, more money to live your life. But the key is you don't want to 100% increase your lifestyle to match your income. You want to increase your income with your investments. Now you can, marginally increase your expenses, but the key is you want to be increasing your income and your investments way more.
Yes.
So the question is, how do you do that? Well, this is where, again, understand you. If you are an employee, you don't want to start a business, you don't want to start a side hustle, fine, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. You just have to understand you. But that means now, how can you earn more money? If you like your job, look for ways to get a raise, to get a promotion. See how you can get a bonus. Just be open with your boss. Say, hey, look, I want to be able to contribute more. I want to earn more money.
Right.
What can I do? Most people are going to be very open and honest. Say, hey, I would like you to tack on this, this, and this. Do this, and then we will help raise your salary.
Yeah.
Maybe if you don't like your job, you go and get a certificate. You go and do something else. Fine. Well, the first thing you can do is start a side hustle. So much more accessible now than ever before. I mean, you can go onto the internet, become a virtual assistant. You can become a copywriter. You can become a designer. You can become a video editor. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you could try to build your own business. Your side hustle can turn into your own business. If you have a business idea, invest in it. First, invest in your mind, invest in your education, and then try to do it. You want to invest as little money as possible until you start generating revenue. Like, again, mindset versus tool set. We assume that we need all these tools to start doing it. But the reality is the first thing you need is your mind. Sometimes too much money can be a disease, especially if you want to be a side hustler or a business, because now you just start spending money. And I've been a victim of that too. So you need to know now, how do you multiply your income and understand that you don't need thousands of dollars. My first business, I started with nothing, essentially, when I started my event planning company. I started Minority Mindset with under a few $100s.
Yeah.
I mean, I was making videos off of my cell phone. That hustle mentality is so crucial, and you can't teach that. You can't read that in books. You have to actually live it.
Yes.
And so this is where now, if you want to really do that, you have to understand the hustle mentality and be willing to put it to work. And this brings me now to the be great aspect. The last part now.
I like
now
it.
You've
Speaking my language.
Exactly, right? Exactly, greatness. So you've built the base, you're putting some money to work, you're leading your money, you are either paying off your home or you're understanding how to use your extra cash the right way, you're increasing your income, that way you can build your wealth even faster. Now it's all about being great. And there's two aspects to this. The first aspect that I want to talk about is protecting yourself, because the reality is when people realize that you have money, they're going to try to take their hand, put it in your pocket, and keep some for themselves. So this is where having those right shields to protect you are so important, because especially in America, we are the most litigious country in the world, and you want to make sure you protect yourself against that.